Hey, my name is Steve Mason. I'm a conguero out in Denver, Colorado. I'm gonna show you guys how to wrap your fingers. I use this stuff called Eucatape. It's essentially just kind of like a bandage tape, kind of a semi-stretchy bandage tape. Kind of like they use in hospitals and stuff. It's got a little flex to it. And can't smell through the camera, but it's got a eucalyptus and mint combination, sort of like essential oil or something that they've impregnated into the tape itself. And not only does it smell great, but the combination of eucalyptus and mint help with inflammation and prevent bruising, help with blood flow, all the good stuff that essential oil, eucalyptus and mint is known for. I just get this off of Amazon right now, unless anybody knows of a cheaper. They're usually like 6, 8, 10, maybe $12 a pop for these. I think you can get them in packs of 2 for like 14 bucks. But yeah, so what you do is one of the first two places that you'll feel pain while you're playing congas is right here. What happens is as you're playing conga, sometimes your fingers here, let me see if I can, sometimes your thumb will hit right against here, especially if you're going to town, and as a result, you get a nice, can't really exactly see it from here, but you almost get like a bone spur or something right here if you don't wrap it up, and then you can actually bruise your knuckle right here, bruise the bone, and it hurts. Makes it so you can't play congas the next day. It's no fun. So what we'll do is we'll start it right here. So what you do is you'll line up this groove right here. You see where that kind of see where it is on my hand right there. So you put that right into the center of the tape. Here we go. And then roll all the way around. At this point, you'll flex your thumb, because if you don't, it will tape up your thumb in a straight line, and then you can't bend your thumb comfortably, and you definitely don't want that. Any type of hand percussion, you want full mobility. Now what you do is, this stuff is kind of expensive to be, doubling up over your finger like that. So what we'll do is we'll cut it off to right where it meets with itself, right here. So right where the drum actually hits, you're going to get a little double protection, and then everywhere else around, you're just using a single ply. So yeah, we'll just cut that. There we go. Not sure why it's being stubborn. Here we go. So once you get the cut started, you can kind of tear it like that. So if you're having trouble cutting it like I just did, you can always just tear it. And then kind of, you can kind of reshape it on your finger. Boom. Just like that. Now, if you're just going to be jamming or practicing or, doing some light stuff, even, especially if you're just a finger guy, you just use a finger to sound a note rather than your whole hand. I'm more of a whole hand player. I really kind of like to wail into my congas. So for us more fervent players, add a second layer of of electrical tape. It's cheap. Get a roll of it, like $2-3. Look how big that roll is. Even if you're playing every night, this roll will last you all week. I mean, all month. If you're not playing every night, it'll last you several months. So, it is worth the investment. I think $2 or $3 every month or 3. It's a pretty darn good price to pay for not having problems later on in life. So we'll just wrap that around here. See what I did here? Started again right where my thumb hits the conga. Wrap it around. Make sure you bend your thumb. Have it double up onto itself. Cut your tape. There you go. Now that, if I am playing at a bar, or if I'm playing at a concert hall, something with a decent size, you know, if you're doing something more than just a jam, a bedroom jam or something, if you're actually playing live, this is the kind of setup that I would suggest. Alright, you could still bend your thumb. Alright, you got technically 4 layers of protection right here, because you doubled up the Eucatape, and you doubled up right here. So you got 4 layers of tape right where it needs to be, but 2 layers of tape on the other side, so it's still breathable. Still nice and good. And this is not a replacement for good technique. It just helps when you play for multiple hours a night, 5 nights a week, like I tend to do. Another spot that I like to treat is right here. Because of the pandemic, I have not been out playing 5 nights a week like I used to. But back when I used to, I would get a nasty, broken, or split blood vessel right here, and you'd be able to see it. And this part here, right here, it would crack and peel and split, and it was just not fun, especially out here in Colorado, dry climate. And I'm using real skin heads on top of that. Every time you use real skin heads, they dry out your hands. So, playing 5 nights a week, multiple hours, you'll get this split, crack, blood vessel situation right here that sucks. So, yeah, you'll just do the same thing, you know, just kind of wrap it around. Start at this point right here. That's where the most damage occurs, that one spot. So you line it up in the middle, wrap it around, and when you get to the knuckle, you bend the knuckle. You can see right there, kind of see right there where right there. So see, it's protecting all this surrounding area as well. Go. So double it over on itself, but just in the area of contact. Cut. The Eucatape is actually pretty darn sturdy of a tape. As you can see, I mean, I'm cutting with the wrong hand because these are right-handed scissors, and I'm cutting left-handed right now. But as you can see, it is pretty sturdy tape. It didn't actually cut through it that well. So more often than not, you're probably gonna have to end up ripping. You might get a little stringy like that. No big deal. There you go, doubled over. Make sure you can fold your finger like that before you tape it over like I just did there. And then boom. Look at that. Now, what you'll notice right here is it's not pretty. You know, you're going to be taking this off after you play. So there's no point in getting like symmetrical or perfect or whatever. Like, especially if you play for a couple hours that night, these suckers are going to be kind of nasty and you're going to want to get them off. So It doesn't matter if they got, little imperfections. It can look like that. That's totally fine. You're going to be banging the conga anyway. But to help with that, once again, the electrical tape kind of helps with that too. Electrical tape, very clean. It's some sort of plasticized, non-conductive plasticized rubber or rubberized plastic, however you want to think about it, is what essentially electrical tape is. So you just go on there, make sure you bend your knuckle, double up where you first started it. Electrical tape is stretchy. There's no need to stretch it. You don't need to get like a super tight. You're not trying to cut the circulation off from your fingers or anything ridiculous like that. Like, you're just trying to protect your finger. There's no, this isn't like a, it does its job and then you take it off in a couple hours and that's that. It's essentially like runners when they put on their whatever thingy that helps with their muscles. So there you go. That, my friends, is how you do a successful wrap of your fingers. One layer of Eucatape, one layer of electrical tape. So even if you are using your finger the entire night, yeah, there's, if you're having trouble right here, you can put a layer of tape around here, but it's really not that effective. I've tried that before, and there's just too much movement going on in this, and it works all right. If you're honestly having problems around this area, you could probably look into some fingerless gloves. I've seen a cat out in LA play with fingerless gloves. Doesn't need to use any tape as a result. Different strokes for different folks. I, however, actually like the feel. I like the sensitivity. I've tried to play with fingerless gloves before. It wasn't exactly my thing, especially if you're doing a lot of rocking, especially if you're the traditional Cuban way of rhythm. If you're doing a lot of that, fingerless gloves, I'm sure you can see where that'd be a problem, right? You don't get a solid of a sound. You can't get the you don't get the kind of. So yeah, you miss a lot of sensitivity and stuff with the fingerless gloves. So, recommendation from a congero out in Denver, Colorado.